Hi, Kevin here. Nice to see you again. Today I'm going to show you how to make a rustic loaf of potato bread. Now, my potato bread is a little bit different from the commercial version. For instance, it actually contains potatoes. And the bread has a crackling crisp crust because I bake it in a Dutch oven. What I have here is 1 pound or 3 medium red potatoes. You could use Yukon Gold potatoes if you like. And put the potatoes unpeeled, just wash them really well, but don't peel them, and then put them in a pot and add enough water to cover the potatoes by 2 inches. I'm going to boil the potatoes until they are perfectly tender. That's going to take, 35 minutes or so. Then I'll come back. All right, the potatoes are perfectly tender. That took, about 35 minutes. And just fish them out. Place them on a cutting board or a towel. And then ladle out 3/4 of a cup of the potato cooking water. And just put that in a measuring cup. Let's see. We have 3/4. Yep. And then just set this aside. We want everything to cool down, for about 15 minutes. So I'll be back. Okay, when the potatoes are cool enough to handle, peel them. And you probably won't even need a knife for this because the peels on boiled potatoes tend to come off very easily. Yeah. And then put the potatoes in a bowl, just a small bowl. Get rid of these peels over here. And then take a potato masher and mash the potatoes. Done. And then, as for the potato water, we're going to be adding yeast to this. Let me maybe add a little bit. So the water was, of course, really hot, too hot for the yeast. So I put it in a bowl of ice water. Now I want to check the temperature, because we want this to be somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. And we are at, I over-chilled it. Okay, my water was too cool. It was only like 83 degrees. So I'm going to pop this into the microwave for about 15 seconds. Hang on. Okay, another test. And by the way, this is one of those nifty Javelin digital thermometers. If you don't have one, you might like to pick one up. Very useful. Okay, we are at 104 degrees. That's fine. Again, you want anything between 105 to 115, 104 will work. And then sprinkle over the potato water 7 grams or 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And I'm going to mix that in just with a fork. And then set it aside for a moment while I produce my good old faithful stand mixer. And it's outfitted with the dough hook. Now you could, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can absolutely mix and knead this dough entirely by hand. I've done that many times. Not hard to do. Okay, time to make the dough. I'm going to detach this bowl and then add 4 cups, that's 480 grams of all-purpose or bread flour. Also add the potatoes. I need a spoon here. In you go. Of course, some of them landed on my marble board here. Just throw them back in. And then I'm going to mix this for just 1 minute at low speed. Be right back. Okay, we've been mixing for 1 minute. So now add the yeast mixture and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You could use olive oil. I'm using organic safflower oil. Safflower oil is good because it's neutral tasting. And add 2½ teaspoons of kosher salt. And then let this mix and knead. Let me move this up. Ooh, too close. Yeah, knead this for 5 to 7 minutes, just until the dough becomes elastic. We'll be back. Okay, the dough has been kneading for about 5 minutes. So now I'm going to turn off the machine and scrape the dough off the dough hook and drop it onto my board here. There we go. And then roll up your sleeves, because we're going to finish this off by kneading it by hand just a few times. Let's see if this needs any flour. I don't like to add flour when I knead dough. Only if absolutely necessary do I add any flour. Okay. My scraper. Okay, I'm going to add a tiny amount of flour just to make the dough workable. And then knead just a few times. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. Okay, then I'm going to cover this for just a moment, because I need to grease a bowl, and I'm going to grease mine. There went my vegetable spray. I'm going to grease mine with vegetable spray. And then form the dough into a ball. And to do that, you just tuck the sides under. It's a beautiful dough. And then put the dough in the bowl, flip it to grease the other side, and then cover it with plastic wrap. Then put the dough in a warm spot until it doubles in volume. That's going to take about 90 minutes. We'll be back. Okay, I'm back. While the dough is rising, grab an ordinary colander and a clean kitchen towel. And let me show you how we are going to use these items. Okay, first we have to sprinkle some flour on the towel. I'm going to add about, 3 tablespoons or so. And then rub the flour into the towel. And make sure you are wearing a black cashmere sweater while you are working with all of this flour. Yeah, since we're going to we're going to bake the dough into a bowl or a ball, the colander is going to help the ball hold its shape. Because this is a rustic bread after all. Then put the towel in the colander like this. And just set it aside, and then we'll be back once the dough has doubled in volume. All right, while the dough is rising, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching my videos. I know they're a little bit awkward. Okay, they're very awkward, but it's just me and a camcorder filming the videos, so they're hardly professional. So many other video channels are like really professional. Mine is not. So again, I am totally grateful that you are watching, and I hope you'll consider subscribing and tapping the little bell icon to receive notifications. Thank you so much. All right, the dough has certainly more than doubled in volume. I let it go a little too long, but that's okay. So now I'm going to deflate the dough. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I already have flour all over this sweater. And then drop it onto the work surface. Yeah, this is sort of a sticky dough. I'm going to add a little flour to it. And it's sticky because we have the extra moisture from the potatoes. Speaking of which, you might wonder, what on earth potatoes do to benefit bread? And I can tell you that the potatoes add starch and they add moisture. So besides having a crackling crisp crust, this rustic potato bread has a very moist and delicious interior. Anyway, back to the dough. We need to pat this out to remove air bubbles and then form it. Boy, things are not going as I anticipated today. Sorry, I had to grab my bench scraper. I'm going to add some flour at the bottom of this dough. Here we go. Now pat it out. Sprinkle a little more flour on top. Just a tiny amount, about a teaspoon. Pat it out to remove air bubbles. And then form it into a ball, just as we did earlier. And again, to do that, you fold the sides underneath so that you build surface tension on the top of the dough. And then grab the colander with the towel and drop the dough seam side down into the colander. And then I'm going to place this in a warm location to let it double in volume. All right, and I need to cover this with another kitchen towel. Now for this next step, take your Dutch oven, and again, this is a 5-quart Dutch oven. You could use a 7-quart oven if you have one. And you want to make sure the lid is on. And then we're going to preheat the oven with this Dutch oven inside to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And in it goes, middle rack, and preheat to, let's see, bake 450. All right, this next step is both fun and a little bit frightening. So here's the potato bread dough, now doubled in volume. That took about an hour. And what I'm going to do is sprinkle the top with a tablespoon of cornmeal. You could use flour if you don't have cornmeal on hand. Then I have to fetch the red hot Dutch oven. Hang on. Now you must remember that this Dutch oven is red hot because it has been heating in the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So off with the lid, and then you have to transfer the potato dough into the Dutch oven. And to do that, you take the bottom towel and you gently flip the dough into the pot. Hey, it worked. And then, remembering the lid is red hot, so wear a mitt. Put the lid on and put this in the oven, which again is heated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake this for exactly 30 minutes. Then we're going to remove the lid and continue baking the bread at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. We'll be back. Let's fetch this Dutch oven and put it on the work surface, and then lower the temperature to 400 degrees. Remember, red hot, wear a mitt. Ooh, oh, it looks gorgeous. Can you see? Now we have to put the pot back into the oven, but without the lid this time, because we want the bread to turn a deeper golden brown. So in it goes for exactly 15 minutes. All right, here's the bread, all baked and beautiful. And it smells terrific too. It's really amazing. Now, the hard part is getting it out of this pot. Yep, it's loose, so let me see if I can slide it. I'll do my best. Boy, this pot is really hot. Here we go. Upside down, but we can fix that. Okay, let me give you a close-up. So I love all of the little cracks in the bread. It's very, very attractive. And of course it's too hot to eat, so I have to let it cool down to at least something approaching room temperature. We'll see how that works out. And I have my plate ready, I have my butter ready, and I have Mr. Potato Head watching in anticipation. Okay, the bread has definitely not achieved room temperature yet, but I don't care. I'm hungry, so I'm going to cut into it. You, on the other hand, should definitely let your bread achieve room temperature because it will slice more easily that way. Listen to this crust. Snap, crackle. Look at this. The bread doesn't need any butter, but I'm going to give it some anyway. love how butter just melts right into warm, fresh baked bread. So good. I hope you'll give this lovely loaf a try in your very own kitchen. Again, it's really easy to do. I'm going to post the list of ingredients down below, and if you need a printable recipe, you will find one on my website. I'll post that link too. And I'm going to try not to eat all of this bread in just one sitting. So again, I hope you'll give this bread a try, and thank you for spending time with me today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and tap the little bell icon to receive notifications. And please post a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts on this bread. I will see you next time, very soon, with another delicious recipe. Bye for now.